Success isn't just about what you do, it's about what you choose not to do. Successful people know that what they don't do is just as important as what they do. There is a saying, what you choose to stop doing today will determine the success you experience tomorrow. Real success comes when you let go of habits that drain your energy and focus on the things that fuel your growth. Are you ready to learn the habits that set successful people apart from the rest? Do you want to know the things that successful people never do in life? If you're serious about success and leveling up in life, you need to hear this. Because in this video, we're diving into 10 things successful people never do. These are simple things you can stop doing today that will change the course of your life. Number 1, successful people never waste time on things that don't matter. Time is the one resource you can never get back. It doesn't pause, rewind, or wait for anyone. The most successful people in life understand this fact better than anyone else. They know that wasting time on things that don't matter is the fastest way to lose focus, energy, and the opportunity to achieve greatness. And if we're being honest, most people let their time slip through their fingers without even realizing it. Successful people make a conscious choice every single day. They decide where to put their energy and attention. They don't let distractions control them. They don't sit mindlessly scrolling through their phones for hours or binge watch every new show just because it's popular. They ask themselves, does this bring me closer to my goals? Does this help me grow? Does this matter to my future? If the answer is no, they move on. Now think about how often we get caught up in things that add no value to our lives. Gossip, unnecessary arguments, trying to impress people who don't even care about us. Successful people don't waste their time on these things. They understand that energy spent on meaningless things is energy stolen from what truly matters. Imagine you have 24 golden coins every day, each representing 1 hour of your time. Would you throw them away on things that don't improve your life? Of course not. But every time you spend an hour doing something unproductive, that's exactly what you're doing. Successful people protect their time like it's treasure because they know it's their most valuable asset. Let's talk about priorities. One of the biggest reasons people waste time is that they don't know what their priorities are. Successful people have clarity. They know exactly what's important to them. Whether it's building a career, improving their health, spending time with family, or learning a new skill. They focus on these things and ignore the rest. They don't let distractions or other people's opinions pull them off track. How do they do it? They plan their days. They set aside time for the things that matter most. They block out distractions and stick to their schedule. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. They know that even one focused hour on something meaningful can have a bigger impact than 10 hours spent on things that don't matter. But let me tell you something else. Successful people also understand the power of saying no. They don't agree to every request, every invitation, or every project that comes their way. They know that saying yes to the wrong things means saying no to what really matters. They are selective with their commitments because they know their time is limited. Some people might call this selfish, but I call it smart. Think about it. If you're constantly saying yes to things you don't care about, you'll never have the time or energy for what truly matters. Successful people know their goals, and they protect their time fiercely to achieve them. Another key thing to remember is that successful people don't spend their time dwelling on the past. They don't waste time regretting mistakes or replaying failures in their minds. They learn from the past, but they don't live in it. Every moment spent thinking about what you should have done differently is a moment stolen from what you can do right now. Let's not forget about relationships. Successful people don't waste their time on toxic or one-sided relationships. They value connections that uplift, inspire, and support them. If someone consistently drains their energy or brings negativity into their life, they distance themselves. They understand that their time and energy are too precious to be spent on people who don't add value to their journey. Now let's bring this closer to home. Look at your own life and ask yourself, where are you wasting time? Are you spending hours on things that don't bring you closer to your goals? Are you stuck in routines or habits that don't add value to your life? Are you saying yes to things that don't align with your priorities? Here's the hard truth. Every time you waste an hour, you're giving up something far more valuable than just time. You're giving up progress. You're giving up growth. You're giving up opportunities. The most successful people never make that trade. They are intentional about how they spend their days. They focus on what matters most and let go of the rest. They live with purpose and clarity, knowing that every moment counts. And the good news is, you can do the same. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be busy every minute of the day. But you do need to be aware of where your time is going. Start asking yourself, does this matter? Will this help me grow? Is this worth my time? If the answer is no, let it go. Redirect your energy to what truly matters. That's how you build a life of success and purpose. And remember this, the difference between a successful person and someone who struggles isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's how they spend their time. Successful people understand that time is their greatest asset, and they treat it with the respect it deserves. Number 2, successful people never procrastinate on important tasks. One of the biggest obstacles to success is procrastination. We all know what it feels like to put things off, to convince ourselves we'll do it later, or to wait until we're in the mood. But let me tell you something. Successful people don't fall into that trap. They don't procrastinate when it comes to important tasks. Why? Because they understand the cost of delay. Every moment you hesitate, every time you push something critical to tomorrow, you're losing momentum, opportunities, and time you'll never get back. Successful people treat important tasks like non-negotiable commitments. They don't wait for the perfect moment because they know that moment doesn't exist. Instead, they act now, even if they don't feel ready. They know that success doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing. They take action, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard. That's the mindset that separates them from everyone else. Procrastination is sneaky. It disguises itself as harmless. You tell yourself, I'll do it later, but later never comes. Before you know it, days, weeks, or months have passed, and you're still stuck in the same place. Successful people know this, so they refuse to let procrastination rob them of their future. They have a sense of urgency. They understand that if something is important, it needs to be done now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Let's be clear, successful people are not superhuman. They don't always feel motivated. They don't always enjoy every task, but they've mastered the ability to push through those feelings. They don't let emotions dictate their actions. They focus on the outcome, not the discomfort of the process. They know that the satisfaction of completing a task far outweighs the temporary struggle of getting started. Here's the thing. Procrastination thrives on fear and doubt. Fear of failure. Fear of not being good enough. Doubt about whether you can succeed. But successful people face those fears head on. They understand that action is the antidote to fear. The moment you start, even in a small way, fear begins to lose its grip. They don't let fear paralyze them. They let it fuel them. Successful people also know the power of momentum. They understand that starting is the hardest part, but once you take that first step, everything gets easier. They focus on building small wins. Completing one small task leads to another, and before they know it, they've made significant progress. They don't wait for motivation. They create it through action. Let me ask you this. How many times have you delayed something important, only to find that it wasn't as hard as you thought once you finally started? That's the truth about procrastination. It's mostly in your head. Successful people understand this. They don't let overthinking hold them back. They trust that they'll figure things out as they go, and they dive in. Now let's talk about discipline. Successful people don't rely on motivation alone. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps them moving forward. They create habits and systems that make it easier to take action. They set deadlines for themselves and stick to them. They break big tasks into smaller, manageable steps to avoid feeling overwhelmed. They don't just hope to get things done, they make it happen. One thing you'll notice about successful people is that they prioritize their most important tasks first. They don't waste their best energy on trivial things. They tackle the hardest, most critical tasks when they're at their peak, whether that's in the morning, afternoon, or evening. They don't let distractions steal their focus. They understand that procrastinating on important tasks doesn't just delay results. It creates stress and lowers their confidence. And here's the truth. Procrastination is a habit. The more you do it, the easier it becomes to keep doing it. But the opposite is also true. Action is a habit too. Successful people build the habit of taking immediate action, no matter how small. They train themselves to get started, even when they don't feel like it. That's how they break the cycle of procrastination and stay ahead of the game. So what can you learn from them? Start by being honest with yourself. Look at your priorities and ask, what am I avoiding? What task have I been putting off that I know I need to do? Then take one small step toward completing it. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait to feel motivated. Just start. Successful people know this simple truth. Action creates results and procrastination creates regret. Number 3, successful people never stay in their comfort zone. The comfort zone is where you feel familiar, safe, and relaxed. It gives you a sense of security because nothing challenges you there. But let me tell you, nothing meaningful ever grows in the comfort zone. Successful people understand this. They know that staying where it's easy is the fastest way to get stuck. They don't settle for what's comfortable because they realize that growth only happens when you step into the unknown. The comfort zone is a trap. It tells you that you're fine where you are. It whispers, why take the risk? Why make the effort? But deep down, you know the truth. If you stay there, you're not just standing still, you're falling behind. The world is moving, evolving, and changing. Successful people know they have to move with it, or they'll be left behind. Successful people embrace discomfort because they understand its value. They know that feeling nervous, uncertain, or even scared is a sign they're stepping into something new. And guess what? That's where the magic happens. That's where you learn, grow, and become stronger. They use discomfort as a compass, pointing them toward the areas they need to conquer. But let me be clear, leaving the comfort zone doesn't mean throwing yourself into chaos. Successful people take calculated risks. They prepare themselves mentally and emotionally for the challenges ahead. They don't let fear of failure hold them back, but they also don't act recklessly. They push themselves step by step, expanding their boundaries until what once felt impossible becomes second nature. Think about this. Every skill you have today, every strength, every bit of knowledge, it all came from stepping out of your comfort zone at some point. The first time you learned to walk, ride a bike, or speak in front of a crowd, it wasn't comfortable. But you did it anyway, and now it's part of who you are. Successful people apply this principle to every area of their lives. They never stop growing because they never stop stepping out of what's easy. Here's something else to consider. Staying in your comfort zone doesn't just limit your potential. It also steals your confidence. When you avoid challenges, you teach yourself to doubt your abilities. Successful people build their confidence by proving to themselves over and over again that they can handle the hard stuff. Every time they step out of their comfort zone and succeed, they grow stronger, more capable, and more self-assured. Let's not ignore the fear of failure. It's real and it's powerful. But successful people don't see failure as the end. They see it as part of the process. They know that every failure teaches them something valuable, something they couldn't have learned by staying comfortable. They fail, learn, and come back stronger. For them, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone toward it. Successful people also surround themselves with others who challenge them. They don't stay in environments where everyone agrees with them or where expectations are low. They seek out people who inspire them, push them, and hold them accountable. They know that the right environment can stretch them beyond what they thought was possible. Now let's make this personal. Ask yourself, where have you been playing it safe? What have you avoided because it felt uncomfortable? Maybe it's having a tough conversation, pursuing a dream, or taking a leap towards something uncertain. Whatever it is, staying comfortable won't get you there. The truth is, the comfort zone feels good in the moment, but it leads to long-term regret. Successful people understand this. They're willing to face short-term discomfort for long-term growth and success. They know that every challenge they overcome makes them stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the next one. So what's the takeaway? Don't settle for comfort. Don't let fear keep you in a place where you're not growing. Follow the example of successful people and challenge yourself. Step into the unknown. Face the discomfort. That's where your potential lies, and that's where success begins. Number 4, successful people never settle for average effort. Average effort brings average results, and successful people know that's not enough. They never settle for doing just enough to get by. They aim higher, push harder, and give their best in everything they do. Why? Because they know the world doesn't reward mediocrity. It rewards excellence. Successful people refuse to be ordinary because they understand that the difference between good and great is the effort they're willing to put in. When you put in average effort, you send a message to yourself and the world. I'm okay with being just like everyone else. But successful people don't want to be like everyone else. They want to stand out, and that means going the extra mile. It's not about luck or talent, it's about how much effort you're willing to give when no one is watching. Here's the truth. Average effort feels safe. It's easier, it's comfortable, and it doesn't demand much from you. But it also doesn't get you anywhere. Successful people know that if you give less than your best, you'll never reach your full potential. They demand more from themselves because they know that every bit of extra effort compounds over time, creating extraordinary results. Successful people understand that effort isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. They focus their energy on what matters most. They don't waste time on tasks that won't move them forward. Instead, they prioritize the things that align with their goals, and they attack those tasks with everything they've got. Average effort spreads itself thin, but focused effort creates impact. Think about this. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They gave more effort than was required. Whether it's an athlete training before sunrise, an entrepreneur working late nights, or an artist perfecting their craft, they all chose to go beyond what was expected. They weren't satisfied with good enough, and that's why they succeeded. But let's not sugarcoat it. Giving more than average effort is hard. It requires discipline, persistence, and resilience. There will be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed. Successful people face those days too, but they don't let those feelings dictate their actions. They push through because they understand that consistent effort over time leads to greatness. Successful people also understand that settling for average effort doesn't just affect their work, it affects their self-worth. When you know you didn't give your all, it eats away at your confidence. But when you give your best, even if you don't succeed right away, you feel proud. You know you left nothing on the table. That sense of pride builds momentum and keeps you striving for more. Here's another thing. Successful people are never satisfied with their current level of effort. They're always looking for ways to improve. They reflect on their performance and ask, what could I have done better? Where can I push harder? They're not competing with others. They're competing with themselves. They know that the only way to grow is to keep raising their standards. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked back on something and thought, I could have tried harder? That feeling of regret is what successful people avoid by giving their all in the moment. They understand that effort is a choice. You may not control the outcome, but you control how much effort you put in. And they choose to give everything they've got every single time. The bottom line is this. Settling for average effort is settling for an average life. If you want more success, more fulfillment, more opportunities, you have to demand more from yourself. Follow the example of successful people. Refuse to settle. Put in the effort that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Because in the end, the effort you give today determines the life you'll live tomorrow. Number 5, successful people never make excuses for their failures. Failure is a part of the journey. No one likes it. No one wants it. But successful people understand one crucial thing. Failure doesn't define you unless you let it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people never make excuses for their failures. They take responsibility. They learn. They grow. They don't blame the world, circumstances, or other people for what went wrong. They own their mistakes and move forward. Let's face it, excuses are easy. It's tempting to point the finger and say, it wasn't my fault. But when you make excuses, you're giving away your power. You're telling yourself that you're not in control, that something or someone else is. Successful people don't give away their power. They take full responsibility because they know that only by owning their mistakes can they learn from them and improve. When you make excuses, you rob yourself of the opportunity to grow. Excuses keep you stuck. They prevent you from learning from the situation and figuring out how to do better next time. But successful people don't allow themselves to stay stuck. They embrace failure as a stepping stone. They know that failure isn't the end, it's just a lesson. And the more lessons they learn, the closer they get to success. Here's the thing, everyone fails. Every single successful person you admire has failed at something. They faced setbacks, made mistakes, and experienced disappointment. But what sets them apart is how they handle those failures. They don't let failure crush them. They don't hide behind excuses. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I do better? They take full ownership of their actions and use failure as fuel for future success. Making excuses is a way of avoiding accountability. It's a way to avoid facing the hard truth that maybe you didn't try hard enough, maybe you weren't prepared enough, or maybe you just didn't get it right. But here's the truth. Taking ownership of your failures gives you the power to change. It gives you the power to make different choices, to put in more effort, and to do better next time. Successful people don't just take ownership of their failures, they analyze them. They look at what went wrong, break it down, and find out what they could have done differently. They don't play the blame game because they know that focusing on others doesn't move them forward. They focus on themselves. They find solutions instead of reasons why things didn't work out. Think about this. If you constantly make excuses, you're holding yourself back. You're telling yourself that your circumstances, your past, or other people are the reason you can't succeed. But when you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, you free yourself from those limitations. You tell yourself, I am in control of my destiny. I am the one who can change this. But let me tell you, owning your failures isn't easy. It's humbling. It's uncomfortable. It takes courage to admit that you're not perfect, that you made mistakes, or that you could have done better. But successful people do it anyway. They face the discomfort because they know it's part of the process. They know that success isn't just about winning, it's about how you handle failure. So ask yourself, are you making excuses for your failures? Are you blaming others or circumstances for why things didn't work out? If you are, you're holding yourself back. You're preventing yourself from learning and growing. Successful people don't do that. They take responsibility, they own their mistakes, they learn from them, and they keep moving forward. The key to success is not avoiding failure. It's how you respond to it. You can't control everything, but you can control how you handle challenges and setbacks. Don't let excuses stand in your way. Don't let them keep you from learning, growing, and improving. Take responsibility, own your failures, and use them as a springboard to reach even greater heights. Remember, the only real failure is not learning from your mistakes. So, stop making excuses, take responsibility, and keep pushing forward. Your future success depends on how you handle the setbacks you face today. Take control of your journey and never let failure stop you from reaching your goals. Number 6, successful people never neglect personal growth. Personal growth is the backbone of success. It's not just about learning new skills or gaining knowledge. It's about constantly improving yourself as a person. Successful people never neglect personal growth because they know that without it, everything else falls apart. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, and successful people are committed to it every single day. Every successful person you admire didn't just wake up successful. They grew into it. They worked on their mindset, their habits, their skills, and their emotional intelligence. They understood that success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And it happens because they made the conscious decision to grow. They never got comfortable with where they were. They always wanted to be better than they were yesterday. Neglecting personal growth is like refusing to water a plant and expecting it to thrive. Without growth, you wither. If you stop improving yourself, you'll quickly find yourself outpaced by others. The world doesn't stop changing, and neither should you. Successful people know that in order to stay ahead, they must be in a constant state of self-improvement. They read, they learn, they invest in their knowledge, and they challenge themselves. They understand that growth isn't just an option, it's a necessity. Personal growth isn't just about professional skills, it's about growing as a human being. It's about developing self-awareness, emotional control, and resilience. Successful people don't just focus on their business or career, they focus on becoming better, stronger, more disciplined individuals. They understand that their success in life isn't just tied to what they do, but who they are. Here's the reality. If you're not growing, you're getting left behind. You can't expect to achieve big things in life if you're not putting in the effort to develop yourself. You need to build your character, strengthen your mindset, and expand your knowledge base. Successful people do this because they know that growth is the key to unlocking their potential. They invest in themselves because they see the value of it in the long run. Successful people also understand that growth isn't always comfortable. It requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, facing challenges, and pushing through obstacles. It's easy to fall into a routine, to do what's familiar and safe. But that's not where growth happens. Growth happens when you stretch yourself, when you take on things that scare you, when you make mistakes and learn from them. Growth also means taking responsibility for your own development. Successful people never wait for someone else to push them. They understand that their progress is up to them. They take ownership of their learning and make it a priority, whether it's through reading, taking courses, finding mentors, or reflecting on their own experiences. They make personal growth a non-negotiable part of their lives. When you neglect personal growth, you limit your potential. You stop improving. And when you stop improving, you stop moving forward. You can't expect to keep up with the changes in the world if you're not constantly evolving. Successful people are always learning, always growing, and always striving for more. They never let a day go by without making themselves better in some way. Think about this. Every step of personal growth opens up more opportunities. The more you learn, the more capable you become. The more capable you become, the more doors open for you. Success is not just about doing the work. It's about being the best version of yourself. And that means constantly improving, constantly learning, and constantly pushing your limits. So what are you doing today to invest in your personal growth? Are you making it a priority, or are you letting it slide? Successful people never neglect it because they know that everything else in life, career, relationships, finances, depends on who they are as individuals. They don't let a single day go by without learning something new, improving themselves, and becoming better versions of who they were yesterday. The journey of personal growth is ongoing. There's always more to learn, always more to improve, and always more to become. And the more you focus on growth, the more success will follow. If you want to achieve great things, you must never stop growing. You must commit to being better, stronger, and smarter than you were the day before. Keep growing, and the world will give you everything you deserve. Number 7, successful people never stop setting new goals. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is thinking that once you achieve a goal, you're done. Successful people understand that achieving one goal is just the beginning of another journey. They never stop setting new goals because they know that without goals, they don't have direction. Without direction, they don't have purpose. Every time they achieve something, they don't sit back and relax. They look ahead, set new goals, and keep pushing forward. Goals are the fuel that drives success. They are what keep you moving when the road gets tough. They give you focus when distractions try to pull you away. Successful people never stop setting new goals because they know that without them, they'd be drifting. They understand that to grow, to evolve, and to achieve greatness, they need something to reach for, something that keeps them hungry, keeps them working. Now, I want you to understand this. Goal setting is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process. Successful people know that the moment they stop setting goals, they stop growing. They understand that life is constantly changing, and with it, their goals need to evolve as well. When they achieve a goal, they don't stop. They don't become complacent. They always look for what's next. The reason successful people never stop setting new goals is simple. They understand that life is about progress. They know that if they're not moving forward, they're falling behind. Every new goal represents an opportunity to grow, to expand, and to push the limits of what they can achieve. It's this mindset that drives them to keep climbing higher and higher. You've heard it before. Once you reach the top, you stop climbing. But successful people don't believe that. They don't believe that the top is the end. To them, the top is just another step on the ladder. And once they reach it, they set their sights higher. There's always another level to reach, another milestone to hit, another challenge to take on. They never settle for good enough because they know that their potential is limitless. Setting new goals isn't just about achieving more. It's about keeping yourself in the game. It's about maintaining that drive, that hunger for success. When you stop setting goals, you stop striving. You stop challenging yourself and you stop growing. Successful people refuse to let that happen. They're always looking for ways to improve, ways to do better, and ways to move forward. But setting new goals is not always easy. It requires clarity, focus, and commitment. It's easy to get comfortable when you've achieved something great, but successful people push through that comfort. They know that true success comes when you challenge yourself, when you raise the bar, and when you set bigger and bolder goals. The key to this is not just setting any goals, but setting the right ones. Successful people don't waste time with vague, meaningless goals. They set goals that stretch them, that force them to grow, that push them to become better than they were yesterday. They set goals that align with their purpose, their values, and their long-term vision. Every goal they set is a step toward becoming the person they want to be. So here's the truth. Successful people don't get complacent. They don't rest on their laurels after achieving something. They are always looking ahead. They always ask themselves, what's next? What more can I achieve? They understand that if they want to continue to grow, they have to keep pushing themselves. They have to keep setting new goals and continue striving for greatness. If you want to be successful, you need to adopt this mindset. You need to understand that achieving one goal is not the end. It's just a new beginning. Keep setting new goals, keep pushing yourself, and never settle for what you've already accomplished. Always keep striving for more. The moment you stop setting goals is the moment you start falling behind. Your future is shaped by the goals you set today. Successful people understand that. They understand that without goals, they have no direction. Without direction, they have no purpose. So, make the decision right now to never stop setting new goals. Your success depends on it. Your growth depends on it. And your future depends on it. Number 8, successful people never let fear stop them. Fear is something we all experience. It's a natural human emotion that can arise when faced with uncertainty or the unknown. But here's the harsh truth. Successful people don't let fear control them. They don't let it stop them from taking action, from going after what they want, or from chasing their dreams. Fear might be present, but it never holds them back. They understand that fear is just a feeling, and feelings don't dictate their actions. What separates successful people from the rest is how they handle fear. While most people are paralyzed by it, successful people face it head on. They don't allow fear to stop them from moving forward, from trying new things, or from pursuing their goals. Instead, they use fear as a signal to act. They know that whenever fear shows up, it's usually because they're on the verge of something big, something important, something that will push them to grow. Now let's talk about this. Fear doesn't just disappear because you want it to. It's a constant companion. But successful people understand that the presence of fear doesn't mean they should turn back. Instead, they use fear as fuel. They've learned that the things they fear most are often the things that will lead them to the greatest rewards. Whether it's public speaking, taking a big risk, or starting something new, fear is simply a part of the process. The key is not to run from fear, but to embrace it. Successful people know that growth happens outside of their comfort zone. They understand that every time they face their fears, they grow stronger. Fear is not something to avoid, it's something to move through. And with each step, they become more resilient, more confident, and more capable. Fear is a barrier, but it's only as strong as you allow it to be. If you let fear control you, you'll never take the necessary risks to succeed. If you keep letting fear stop you, you'll stay stuck in the same place, stuck with the same mindset, stuck with the same outcomes. Successful people understand this better than anyone. They refuse to let fear keep them from chasing after what they want. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that fear is a reason to stop. But successful people know that fear is just a sign to keep going. The more they push through their fear, the more they realize it was never as powerful as they thought. It's not the fear that's the problem, it's how they respond to it. And successful people respond with action. Think about it. Every time you've been afraid to do something, what happened? Did you do it anyway, or did you back down? The key is in that moment of decision. It's when you choose to act despite the fear. Successful people always choose to act. They don't wait for the fear to disappear. They move forward with it. Because they know that on the other side of fear is where success lies. Successful people also don't let the fear of failure stop them. Failure is not something to fear. It's something to learn from. Every successful person has faced failure, and they know that it's just a stepping stone to success. Fear of failure keeps many people stuck in place. They worry about what could go wrong, but successful people focus on what could go right. They know that failure is inevitable, but so is learning and growing. Here's the bottom line. Fear is inevitable. It's going to show up in your life, in your business, in your relationships, and in every aspect of your journey. But it doesn't have to stop you. Successful people understand that fear is simply a feeling one that doesn't need to dictate their actions. They face it, they move through it, and they keep going. They don't let fear decide their future. Number 9, successful people never ignore their health. Success isn't just about making money or achieving your goals. It's about living a balanced life, and that includes taking care of your health. Successful people understand that their health is their most valuable asset. They know that without good health, nothing else matters. No amount of success, wealth, or recognition will make up for the toll poor health can take on your life. That's why successful people never ignore their health. They take it seriously every single day. Successful people understand the importance of investing in their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. They know that taking care of themselves is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you don't prioritize your health, everything else in your life will eventually suffer. Your energy, your focus, and your ability to perform at your best will all be impacted. That's why successful people make health a top priority. The first thing successful people do is set aside time for exercise. They know that physical fitness is not just about looking good, it's about feeling good and performing at your best. Regular exercise boosts energy, improves mood, and helps to maintain a sharp mind. Successful people make time for exercise because they know that staying active is essential for long-term success. Whether it's hitting the gym, going for a run, or practicing yoga, they make movement a daily habit. But it's not just about exercise. Successful people also pay attention to their diet. They know that what they put into their bodies directly impacts their energy levels, focus, and overall well-being. They eat nutritious foods that fuel their bodies and support their goals. They don't fall into the trap of eating junk or skipping meals. They understand that their bodies need proper nourishment to function at their highest potential. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Successful people know that taking care of their minds is crucial to their success. They practice stress management, mindfulness, and work to maintain a positive outlook on life. They take time to recharge, whether that means meditating, journaling, or simply taking a break from the hustle. They know that mental clarity is the foundation for making good decisions and staying focused on their goals. Sleep is another crucial aspect of health that successful people never overlook. They understand that sleep is not a waste of time. It's essential for recovery and mental sharpness. Successful people know that getting enough rest helps them to be more productive, creative, and effective throughout the day. They don't sacrifice sleep for late-night work sessions because they know that working while exhausted only leads to burnout. But let's be honest, there are always excuses. It's easy to say you don't have time for exercise or to skip meals because you're too busy. It's tempting to stay up late working or scrolling through your phone instead of resting. But successful people understand that these shortcuts are a mistake. They make time for their health because they know it's the foundation of everything else. Without good health, they wouldn't have the energy to pursue their goals, the focus to make smart decisions, or the strength to keep pushing through challenges. Health is the ultimate investment. Successful people know that taking care of their bodies, minds, and emotions is a long-term game. They don't neglect their health for short-term gains, like working extra hours at the expense of their well-being. They know that true success is not just about what you achieve. It's about how you feel while achieving it. Health is not something you can put off for later, because eventually, neglecting it catches up with you. Here's the reality. Your health is the foundation of everything you do. If you're not healthy, you can't fully enjoy the success you work so hard for. If you're always tired, stressed, or sick, you won't have the energy to perform at your best. Successful people understand this, and that's why they never ignore their health. They understand that a healthy body and mind are essential to creating the life they want. Number 10, successful people never compromise their core values. Core values are the foundation of who you are. They define what you stand for, what you believe in, and how you show up in the world. For successful people, their core values are non-negotiable. They never compromise on what matters most to them, no matter how much pressure they face or how tempting the shortcuts might be. Their values are the compass that guides their actions, decisions, and relationships. Successful people know that if they compromise their values, they're compromising their integrity. Once you lose your integrity, you lose everything. Success without integrity is hollow. It's fleeting. It doesn't matter how much money you make or how high you climb. If you sacrifice your core values to get there, it's not true success. Successful people understand this, which is why they are fiercely protective of their principles. Integrity means doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It means staying true to who you are, even when it feels like the world is pressuring you to be someone else. Successful people know that their reputation is everything. If you don't have a reputation for being someone who lives by their values, you'll struggle to build lasting success. They understand that every decision they make is either reinforcing or damaging their integrity. Core values guide everything. Whether it's honesty, loyalty, compassion, respect, or responsibility, successful people don't bend these principles just to get ahead. They know that real success is built on a solid foundation of trust and authenticity. When you stick to your values, you build trust with others. Trust that becomes a powerful tool in your journey to success. Without it, you'll find it hard to maintain meaningful relationships, partnerships, or a sustainable career. But sticking to your values isn't always easy. There will be times when you'll face temptation to take the easy way out, to cut corners, or to say what people want to hear. There will be times when you're offered a deal that promises big rewards, but it goes against what you believe in. In these moments, the successful person doesn't compromise. They know that staying true to their values will lead to bigger and better opportunities down the road. They're patient, and they understand that success earned without compromise is more rewarding than anything that comes too quickly. Successful people don't just value their integrity, they guard it with everything they have. They understand that compromising their values for short-term gains is a mistake. The satisfaction from achieving success at the expense of your values is temporary, but the consequences can last a lifetime. Successful people never allow this to happen because they know that real success is about long-term fulfillment, not quick wins. One of the toughest challenges you'll face in life is being true to your values when it's hard. It's easy to make decisions that align with your values when everything is going well. But when times get tough, sticking to your core beliefs becomes a test of character. Successful people understand this test and they rise to it. They know that the decisions they make in moments of difficulty are what truly define their success. Compromising your values might give you a temporary sense of achievement, but in the long run, it erodes your self-respect and leaves you with a sense of emptiness. You might fool others for a while, but you can never fool yourself. Successful people recognize this and refuse to trade their sense of self-worth for anything. They know that their values are the only thing that truly defines their success. When you stand firm in your values, you build a reputation for being someone who can be trusted. People respect you for staying true to what you believe, even when it's difficult. This respect opens doors, creates opportunities, and helps you form lasting relationships, both personal and professional. Compromising your values, on the other hand, leads to a life of confusion and regret. It leaves you wondering whether you're truly successful or just pretending to be. Successful people don't just talk about their values, they live them every single day. They take responsibility for their actions, and they make decisions based on their principles, not what's convenient or popular. When you live by your core values, you never have to worry about being caught in a lie or feeling guilty for making a questionable decision. You can look yourself in the mirror and know that you did what was right. That's true peace of mind.